we have liftoff. Guys, it is a hot one here in the UK today, which is exactly why I'm wearing a hoodie. You guys know me by now. If I'm outside in the sun, I'm gonna strip off. If I'm inside, I'm gonna be wearing a hoodie. It's not gonna change. Anyways, before we dive into breakfast, which by the way, for breakfast, I'm gonna show you how to make my new version of a sweet, healthy, high protein caramel coffee Frappuccino, which is just the best, and obviously it's vegan as well. But before that, I thought I would show you a little summer grocery haul, and most of it, 90% of it, is locally grown because we are blessed. We are so blessed here in the UK in the summer, and I say this as someone who like complains about living in the UK for like 6 months of the year because it's so miserable and stuff. But in the summer, we are so blessed to have an abundance of good quality, locally grown produce. I'm talking all the kinds of berries like cherries, strawberries, blackberries, raspberries, all the types of berries, and lots of veggies and stuff as well. And I'm actually very, very lucky in the area that I live in Kent, because most of the berry fields, they're literally like 5-10 minutes down my road, so you can go and pick your own. Although in this grocery haul, don't give me crap about the plastic, because I do my best to like pick my own and not use plastic when I can. But guys, there's been a few situations, and I think it's probably because in one of my last videos, I kind of incriminated myself, and I was talking about how when you go to the berry fields, for example, the cherry field where I went like a couple weeks ago, you can just like go in there and eat as much as you want, and then when you come out, just like pay for a small basket. Everyone does it, right? It's a thing. But they're starting to clock on a little bit. Yeah, every time I go to the fields, actually, something traumatic happens. Like once upon a time, me and my friend got caught in there. But don't leave me hate comments about that, because it was a very, very long time ago. Also, I know I said I'd stop saying this, but the show must go on, so obviously later in the video, there's gonna be a nut butter review. And also tonight, this evening, and tonight something very special. Well, something very special to me anyway. You'll see later. Anyways, I'm getting hungry and I want to make my fraps, so let's do a grocery haul. You guys know I can't live, well, I can live, but I won't live without watermelon in the summer. I have to have watermelon like most days, you know? So obviously the watermelons are not locally grown, but they do come from Spain, which at least like that's a bit closer, because I think most of the year we'll get them from places like South America, which is just ridiculous. Just trying to justify this here. You're probably thinking, okay, but why have you got 3 miles? Well, let me tell you, I always have a backup for the backup, because you just never know. There's, like I've said before, there is nothing worse than getting a bad melon. It's just, I can't actually think of anything else that compares to it. It's a very depressing experience. So I always have a backup of the backup, but then just in case, I've always got a backup of the backup of the backup. You know what I mean? So, speaking of locally grown, I've got some cherries, and these aren't just cherries. These cherries are grown 5 minutes away from me. They are so juicy and also a little bit crisp and deep, deep purple inside. You know, like when you get those really, really good sweet ones? Yeah, I mean, it's just about doing your best, right? Like we can't 100% avoid plastic. And especially when what's in the plastic is locally grown and not like transported here, I feel like I'm doing my bit. Also, speaking of locally grown, I have got these blackberries, and I know that blackberries are usually very like sour and tart, but these ones, again, which are grown 5 minutes down my road, they are a special sweet snacking variety, and they are, my God, they are like very, very, very sweet. It's kind of weird to get a sweet blackberry, but look at that deep black color, and they are so juicy and sweet. Also locally grown, I have got a couple of red cabbages. It's just funny because like a couple years ago, I never used to eat these, and now it's like a daily thing. I'll have them raw in salads. I like to put them in my stir fries. Do you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna take you off this and show you like the table, because like it's stressing me out. So I have got 3 cukes. You guys know I love myself a cuke. And as you can see, these ones are locally grown. I mean, not much to say about cuke apart from pretty much goes with everything because it's bland, right? But it's refreshing and so good. I have got a couple of leeks. What do I do with leeks? I love to roast them in some olive oil and salt. I like to put them in curries. Yeah, it's such an underrated vegetable. Vegetable. As you can see, this is British grown, and you all know I eat celery every single day, and also I need it for my nut butter review, so priorities, guys. We have got some radish, love it raw, but also if you cook it, roast it with other veggies, Bomb. Here we have the beautiful cherries, which, to be honest, I'm gonna inhale these in a minute. I have got this tofu, which I'm gonna use some of it to make for lunch. Obviously not locally grown or locally made. I don't know, this is kind of one of those more expensive convenience ones, and I haven't tried this flavor before. So got some very sweet golden baby plum tomatoes. Proudly British. Also got some straws. I just don't get straws that much. Like, yeah, I'll eat them, but they're nothing special to me. But as these were, as you can see, grown down my road, they're from Kent, UK. Just had to get some. I've got a couple of avocados, obviously not locally grown, but essential. Eat avocado every single day, a whole avocado every single day. Makes your skin glow, and it's just, I don't know, I think it's one of the healthiest foods in the world. Got some greens, some romaine hearts, always my favorite green, goes on the bottom of all of my salads, and a couple heads of broccoli. Anyways, on to breakfast. Alright, so what you will need to, by the way, I have a whole episode, I have a whole video on recreating the Starbucks menu, but to be honest, I know that some of those drinks had like 2,000 calories in them because I just filled them up with like nuts and seeds, but this is like an actual healthy version that you can have for breakfast. It's just as sweet, it's very filling because of all the protein and the healthy fats. But anyways, of course you will need some coffee. I've got, I mean, I don't have is it espresso? Espresso? I guess if you're using proper shots, then put a couple in because you want this to be like strong coffee flavored. I've just got instant coffee and I put like 3 little teaspoons in there because I like it strong. But of course for me it's decaf. I've got one adrenal gland. I don't tolerate caffeine that well. But if you want to use normal coffee, knock yourself out. But you just need to know that it needs to be strong. So the sweet element, well, apart from the protein powder, we are using dates. So in here I've got 5 squishy medjool dates. Yeah, and the reason we're using dates instead of something like frozen bananas is because to give it sweetness. Because if you use bananas, this is just going to end up tasting like a banana milkshake. And the idea here is to replicate like the exact caramel coffee frappuccinos. Healthy fats, we have got a 1/4 of a cup of hemp seeds, very high in protein, high in zinc, high in magnesium, so good for your skin, high in omega-3s. All right, so the protein element, I'm using a scoop of the salted caramel maca protein powder from Vivo Life. You see me drink this all the time because even on its own, even when it's not in a frap, it tastes just like a salted caramel milkshake. Obviously some ice, we want this to be nice and cold and refreshing. And then just some plant milk, you can use any plant milk that you like. This is cashew milk just because cashew milk is my fave. Also, the longer you blend it, the more frothy it's gonna get, and you all know I live for the foam, so, oh, so thick, so creamy. Guys, I think I have outdone myself once again. Look at that, right to the brim. Didn't even measure it. Just going for a little taste. Guys, that is a different level of Frappuccino game. And also the froth on top. Yeah, to be honest guys, I've always been obsessed and addicted to Frappuccinos. Like, when I was young, like back in the day, I used to spend so much money on Frappuccinos. Because I mean, in Starbucks, they're what, like, I don't know, like 4 quid. Like back in the days when I used to be an athlete, I've spoken about this before, but my diet was just a pile of shit. All I used to eat was just sugar, sugar, sugar. And I used to buy Frappuccinos like twice a day, like. But actually, when you can make them this good at home, and they're high in protein, and there's no refined sugar, and it's really good for you, and it tastes better. Guys, I'm trying to get all the frothy bits on top. Not the best, but it will have to do. No matter how hard I try, I will always look like a 12-year-old. I've just come to accept it now. Anyways, for lunch, I'm making a bit of a, well, some kind of Buddha bowl. You all know I love my big, colorful bowls. I love to play around with the carbs, like use things like sweet potatoes, Japanese ones, regular ones, or sometimes noodles, and then protein source like tofu or edamame. I'm using both today. And of course, a good source of fat. This is kind of like, and obviously lots of greens and colorful vegetable action as well. Usually with this kind of bowl, like an Asian inspired bowl, I would make like an almond butter sauce with sriracha, but I have run out of almond butter, which, I mean, just how? Very criminal, but we'll make it work. All right guys, so here is the final result. By the way, this bowl is huge. It's not my like massive bowl. It's kind of like an in-between one. But yeah, underneath all of this, I have got a couple heads of romaine, and then we have got edamame beans, like I always say, great cheap source of plant-based protein, and I just love the flavor, like even on its own without salt. I mean, it's better with salt, but you know what I mean. We have got some of the radish, which was locally grown, soba noodles, which I absolutely love. Gonna drizzle that with some sriracha and tahini in a second. Avocado, red cabbage, and back here I have got the tofu I showed you earlier. I still actually don't know what's in it. I probably should have checked. I think it's like sun-dried tomato, maybe some basil, maybe some herbs. I don't know, it tastes bomb though, so I'm gonna be honest guys, when I'm not filming, like I wouldn't try and make it, you know, I wouldn't like put it in separate sections. I'd probably just chuck it all in the bowl, but I chuck the exact same stuff in the bowl. This does need, like I said, a little drizzle of sriracha. And of course, the grand finale, as always, good drizzle. Okay, that wasn't proper drizzle. Good drizzle of proper runny Arabic tahini. Now we're talking. Also, as I laid this, I did put lemon juice and salt and pepper. I'm not one of those people that's about to eat a salad without salt. Don't even get me started. Get a bit of noodle action. Anyways, I'm gonna go happily apply to face. And by now, you should know what's coming next. Cheers. So, two very different ones today. We are going to be testing. This is, well, it's the brand called Fuel. They also make a brand of vegan high protein granolas, but they're just like, they taste good, but they're just full of sugar. Anyways, you will have seen me try their other two. I tried their chocolate peanut butter, and I also tried their, I think their regular peanut butter. And it wasn't that bad, but it was nothing special. I think I gave them like a 6 out of 10. But this one is their new one. It's their peanut butter with roasted peanuts, sunflower seeds, chia seeds, sea salt. Okay, so pretty healthy ingredients. The only thing, and I said this before, I said this last time I reviewed them, what is going on with this packaging? I still have no idea what the purpose of having a squirty bag of nut butter is. I mean, I do kind of understand, because a person like me would actually have this in his bag. Not that I carry a bag around with me, but would actually have this in their house and would just squirt it in, you know? Like, are these supposed to be portable? Are you supposed to take them on a run with you? I still don't get the concept. All right, onto this one. You're probably thinking, Miles, what in the world? What in the world? This is the chocolate orange nut butter from the brand Naughty. Yeah, so a few videos back, I reviewed their, because they sent me a big box of all of their flavors to try. Not sponsored or anything, they just sent me some for a blunt review. And yeah, last time I did their salted caramel cashew butter, it was bomb. I don't even know what this tastes like yet, but I mean, come on, the size of that jar, how many grams is it? It's 90 grams. I also don't get the concept of this. Like, who would buy a jar this small? At first I was like, is it a pot of Vaseline? Like, is it lip balm? I don't get it. Why is it so small? But yeah, they're selling these little jars. I'm not gonna lie, they are pretty expensive, but they are all, so far as I know, as I've tested, they are all like very, very good quality. The ingredients on this little baby are peanuts, raw cacao powder, coconut sugar, salt, and orange oil. All right, so we're gonna start with the Fuel in the ridiculous package. 225 grams, I think this was only $1.99. I'll make sure and I'll put it on the screen, but that is pretty cheap. But I mean, you're not getting a jar, so what do you expect? It is kind of, it is kind of thick at the bottom. I'm gonna try and, oh, for f***'s sake, the oil's at the top. The oil is at the top. See, I don't get that. And I also massaged it, like it should be blended by now. Let's give it round 2. Okay, it's runny, but I just poured the oily bit down the sink. Now this is a bit thicker. That's actually a nice texture. Cheers. Do you know what? That is not that bad. It's kind of an improvement on their last one, or their last couple. It's nice and salty, like good amount of salt, just how I like it. But the thing is, it's nothing special. And onto the choc orange peanut butter. Again, it just feels ridiculous opening such a small jar. And look at that, there's oil on top. Again, not that like I'm against oil, but the thing is, right, guys, I mean, look. And like I've said before, sometimes I don't mind a churn if the end result is worth it, but the thing is, the jar is so small that you can't even churn it, because it's like all gonna spill out the side. It's actually very annoying, I'm not gonna lie. Sorry, Naughty. I feel like I wanna file a complaint, you know, fill out a report card. Like, actually that's not a bad texture. It's really not a bad texture. But as you can also see, there's like 2 forkfuls in there. Cheers. Oh my god. Yeah, that flavor, do you know what it tastes? Do you know what it tastes exactly like? It tastes exactly like Terry's chocolate orange. Does anyone else remember Terry's chocolate orange before you went vegan? Or maybe you're not vegan and you still eat Terry's chocolate orange. But it also tastes exactly like the pip and nut chocolate orange one, which is also bomb. But this, nah, but like flavor wise, killed it.
Here is the goal. Back with the bass, pajamas live in effect.
Only thing is, like, what am I gonna do with this now? Like, obviously this is just a dessert and I would down this in one go. All right, so just to sum up, this fuel one, I wouldn't waste your money on it. Again, it's not expensive, but it's nothing special and it's just the stupidest packaging in the world. This little thing, would I buy it again? I mean, I didn't buy it, they sent it to me, but would I buy it in future just for the flavor? Probably yes, because I like to waste money, but for the average person, like, the price of these are pretty insane and it's such a small jar. Yeah, so anyways, I'll see you at dinner. Don't do that. So this evening for dinner we had a little family get together in celebration of the fact that it was my little Aslan's 10th birthday. I know, 10, it blows my mind. For those of you that don't know, Aslan is my little nephew, but he's also my little clone and my mini-me, and he's a huge part of my life. We got the barbecue going, and when I say we, I mean other members of my family, as I did absolutely nothing. But on the barbecue we had lots of veggies, grilled peaches, corn on the cob, blackened tomatoes, which we're all obsessed with because it's something Persians add to a lot of their meals. We also had some delicious vegan sausages. These ones are all from the Linda McCartney range, which you guys know I absolutely love. And we also had some veggie burgers, and my mum made this cold rice dish, which I stayed away from because you all know I just don't do rice. Of course there was lots of salad action and some guac, and these little maple roasted sweet potato wedges were absolute bomb. For dessert we just had lots of fresh fruit, some mango, some pineapple and watermelon. I know, oh my god, the food combining. Shut the f up. Anyways, as always, I'm sending you all so much love, and I'll see you on the next video. Laters.
Satisfy my appetite with something spectacular. Check your vernacular, and then I get back to ya with diamond like precision, insatiable as